Hello guys, welcome to Readist. In this video, I'm going to talk about a great book named How to Stop Worrying and Start Living, written by the great Dale Carnegie. He is one of inspiring writers for me, and he also a great inspired person for the great investor Warren Buffett also. In this book, he is briefly showed his ideas about how to live a life without worrying and what is worry and how to tackle it. And he narrated it with a very huge number of small short stories, and he narrated it very well. And I would say that. And what are the key points? And let's say what are the nutshells of from the book? He stated from one thing we will see one by one, and the first one is goes like keep yourself busy, which is he called as day tight compartments, which means you should be so busy that you have no time for worrying about yourself also. Like the great example I would say is Edison. As Thomas Alva Edison researching on his experiments, he would be going like maniac hours of time. He would be pulling out like 18 hours of day in his lab. He would immerse himself in the experiment. Even if something is good goes bad and even the experiment get failed, he never cared about that because he was too focused and too about worrying about what has happened, how to analyze. He always goes into the analytical purpose. Okay, this has happened and I have to rectify this. What is the alternatives and what I can do now? He always focus on that thing which is constantly pushed him beyond his limit, and he obviously invented many things and became one of the greater investor of our one of the greater investor of our century and history of mankind. And also he had narrated it very common, like very few short stories, I would say. Not a short story, more like an incident from normal people to famous personalities. One of the incidents goes like he narrated a story about William Mosier. He's one of the greatest physician who have lived in the late 18th century. As it goes, he's read while Williams at his younger age is reading a newspaper, which is quote like goes like, "The day man's salvation is now, the future is today. There is no tomorrow." One thing, and the another is one of the main quote he written in the newspaper, which is published in 1871, and which the article was written by Thomas Carlyle, and is it goes like, our main business is not to see what lies dimly at a distance, but to do what lies clearly at our hand, which is they indicates the value of our present moment and value of our what we can do now about any situation. If you want to change something, you should focus on what you have and what you can and what you do now, right now. That is the only thing you should care about. All you should do is but the people on the other side is doing a different thing, like always dwelling in the past, always focusing on the thing that they are not the things that are not in their control, and always dwelling in the past, focusing on the future and just neglecting their present moment, which is obviously is in their hand of any individual across the world. And that is what I would say natural law. What is the common thing between you and, let's say, Elon Musk, one of the world, not only one of the, he is the first richest man in the world, which is his time, which is the commonality between them. But what you do with your time, what he done with his time, so that is the different thing. So but here Dale Carnegie shows about the day tight compartment. You should focus on the day, focus on the moment, don't think about the past, don't dwell about it. And he also said that he also quoted some of the Bible lines, like even he quotes some Jesus words, as he said, take no thought for the morrow. Morrow in the sense is tomorrow. And Jesus said, Don't care about tomorrow. That's what Jesus said. That's the quote William Hosier shared here. And also the he also clarified the doubts, because so Jesus said we should not care about tomorrow. Then how come we can plan our futures? How can we analyze our goals and set their goals, and how to be a visionary? It's, of course, it comes under that, but the thought for tomorrow, take the thought of tomorrow. Yes, careful thought and planning and preparation, but have no anxiety. That's the main thing. So anxiety is the problem, guys. Always you will be very very anxious about it, and you know what to do next, what to how to be like organized, and how to tackle the situation, which is the situation is not yet going to happen. And the other thing is, Eisenhower's quotes goes like, let's never waste a minute of thinking about people who we don't like. We also do that thing, guys. If we want, if we don't like a person, we always think about their hacks. We always surrounded our mind with their memories, with their all of the things, guys, about them. But the actual point is they don't even care about us. Not only that, but we are wasting our time and killing ourselves. Literally we are shooting it at our feet, guys. So we should not do that. And Dale Carnegie also pointed out this thing at his book, and he also segregated the whole book like part 1, part 2, part 3. First one is the facts. He deliberated, and he chapter he explained it very carefully. The first one, as I said, is the airtight compartment, and second one is a magic formula for solving worries. A businessman who do not know how to fight worry die young. This is written by Dr. Alexis Carroll. I don't know who is he. It's quite a fresh name. And he also put he means Daniel Carnegie also put all these chapters, all this key points in a nutshell in his books itself, so we don't have to search it for separately. So one is like he focus on the rule number one. There's totally three rules. He first focused about the rule number one, which is said by William Osier, airtight compartments. Rule number two is the next time trouble with the capital T comes gunning for you and backs you up in a corner. Try a magic formula by Williams H. Carrier. The one thing is, what's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen if I can't solve my problem? Prepare yourself mentally to accept the worst if it necessary. Then calmly try to improve upon the worst which you have already mentally agreed to accept. The third rule is, remind yourself of exorbitant price you pay for worry in terms of your health. Businessmen who do not know how to fight worry dying, as I saw is said by the Carrier. So always thinking about the worst case scenario, which is I would say is a healthy way of approaching the problems, which is helps you to analyze it, and it will give you set of a calmness by not only calmness, it will give you a small amount of confidence to approach the problem without any hectic. So this is the main quote is he actually elaborated in this book entirely. And another thing is, keeping yourself is busy. Being occupied of something will cut down the time for being worried. That's what's the main problem we faced during our pandemic. When the COVID-19 spread across the world, many of them have not been outside, see the outside world for quite some times. They have to work on their houses, which is inevitably cost them a lot of domestic violence, this kind of stuff. But the key point is they they don't have a place to keep them busy, because The place make them worry is actually the place where they are working, which is can't be a same place. So they have to be office, right? The whole the that no matter how much you have a very bad time at your house, when you enter the office you will focus on the work. Sometimes you even the problem you left behind the offices. So keeping yourself busy is actually a best way to deviate from your worries, guys. And another thing is, as I said, accept the change, which is especially accept what you cannot change. You should understand you can't change anything. You can't change everything. All you can change is your reaction towards your emotions. All it's which is all you is your in your control. You are the only one in your control, so you can change the if if you want to change something you should change yourself, guys. That's the only thing which is under your control. And analyze and act, so it's the basic thing. You should act like you should analyze it before doing any actions. That's what he's saying. And the last one is building confidence and resilience. So these kind of things put you in a spot where you can build a tremendous amount of confidence and resilience among the worries you have been carrying, and you can fight against it, which is inevitably needed thing. So I would ended up this thing by saying that a great quote from Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Roman Empire. He quoted states that we do love ourselves more than any others, but we only respect or we only accept the opinions of others, but we don't respect our own. So he narrated very perfectly that we are the only person we love the most, right? You can love yourself most than anybody, but we only care about the opinions of others. We don't care about ourselves. That's the main thing. So which we have to change that also, guys. That will build you a character. So this is explained in this book very detailedly, how to stop worrying and start living by Dale Carnegie. I definitely recommend you guys this book. So do read this book and make some use of it. See you in the next video, guys. Bye bye.